Alaskan Homemaker. I'm Mary. Today we're going to make New York style sourdough bagels. They're going to be so delicious. Last night I made sure I had 1 cup of starter. I maintain a really small starter, so I bolted up last night so that I would have 1 cup this morning. Okay, so we're going to get this on the scale. I will link this recipe in the description box below. Okay, I zeroed out my scale. And this should be about 200 grams of starter. And it's 193. It's close enough, so we're going to call that good. And we need 30 grams of maple syrup. So we're going to zero out our scale and get 30 grams of maple syrup. I went a little bit over, but that's okay. I have 37 grams. Okay, and we're going to get 315 grams of water, and I use filtered water. So I zeroed my scale out again, and we're going to get 315 grams of water. There we go, 315 exactly. Okay, and we're going to give this a mix so it can break up the starter a bit and get it a little bit stirred up. Okay, and we need some salt. We need 10 grams of salt. So we're going to zero out our scale again, and we're going to get 10 grams of salt in there. There we go. Okay, and we need 750 grams of flour. And I'm using all-purpose flour, organic all-purpose flour. Zero out our scale. Okay, now we're going to give this a good mix. This dough is really thick compared to other sourdough recipes, so it's a low hydration recipe. Along with any of the flour in the bowl, so I can get that mixed in good. The original recipe mixes this in a mixer, but I usually mix doughs by hand. Then you can get a good feel of the dough, and it's nice that you can still make it by hand. This dough is not sticky at all. So it's really low hydration. This looks pretty good. Okay, we're gonna set this inside the bowl and we're gonna let it rest for 20 minutes on the counter. I'll see you in 20 minutes. Our 20 minutes is up and now we're ready to divide our dough. You can divide this dough into 8 bagels or into 10 bagels, whichever you prefer. Usually I just eyeball the size of the balls, but this time I'm gonna weigh it. That way the bagels can be the same size. Okay, and we've got 1287, and I'm gonna divide mine into 8. So we're gonna do 1287 divided by 8, and they should be about 160 grams each. Okay, that's there, that one's 160. Okay, that's 159. Now we're going to fold everything down towards the bottom and kind of pinch it. And we're going to roll it on the counter with our hand to create tension on this little ball. And then there's our first one. And you just want to have it smooth on the top, so you're just pinching everything down to the bottom. Rounding it out. Okay, now we've got all our balls. Oops. Okay, we're gonna cover these up. And we're gonna set our timer for 15 minutes. Our timer just went off, and now we're ready to shape our bagels. We're gonna get some semolina flour. If you don't have semolina flour, it's okay, you can just use regular flour. And we're gonna dust this liberally. I've got a piece of parchment paper on this cookie sheet. Now we're going to take our ball and we're going to press a hole in the middle. And then we're going to put our fingers in here and just roll it around. And you want about the size of a walnut. And then we're going to get this on our cookie sheet. So just press your finger in the middle to create the hole, and then just wheel it around with your 2 index fingers. I'm just taking my index finger and my thumb and pressing a hole in the bagel. This is fun. This lid, but it might be too tall. looks like it's okay. Looks like there's room. So I'm gonna use this lid. If you don't have a lid, you can just use some plastic wrap on top. And then you want to let this rise until they're puffy. 2.5 hours to 4.5 hours, and it could take even longer than that. It depends on the temperature of your house. So now we've got this part done, and now we can just let it rise up and do something else. So see you back when these have puffed up nicely. It's been 3.5 hours, and you can see that the little hole in the middle is closed up a bit, and they've risen up nicely in 3.5 hours. And so I'm going to go ahead and get this in the refrigerator. And you can leave it in the fridge for 12 to 24 hours. So we'll get those cooked tomorrow. We're getting ready to boil and bake our bagels. I have some shredded cheese here, shredded sharp cheddar cheese. And I'm gonna make 4 of the bagels sharp cheddar cheese and jalapenos. I'm using the spicy jalapenos today. I've got a double thing of paper towels right here, 2 layers. And then I'm gonna get some of these jalapenos out. However many I think I'll use. That's probably enough for 4 bagels. And then I'm just gonna pat those dry so they won't wet our bagels down. Just get that excess moisture off. There we go. Okay, and our oven is preheating to 450 degrees. I have a pot of water coming up to a boil. So our jalapenos are ready, our cheddar is ready, and then we're gonna also do everything bagel seasoning. I got this at Costco, and it tastes really good on bagels. So I've got this little saucer, and I'm just gonna pour some in here because we're gonna dip them while they're wet so that they'll stick into our seasoning. That looks like a good amount. Okay, I'll bring you back when our oven's up to temp and our water's at a boil. Our oven is up to temp and the water is gently simmering. We're gonna pull our bagels out. Here they are. Okay, we're going to get 1 tablespoon of baking soda into our water. And 1 tablespoon of brown sugar. We need to boil our bagels 20 seconds per side. So I'm going to get my timer out. I'm going to set it for 40 seconds and then we can just flip that at the 20-second mark. Okay. And I've got a slotted spoon, or it's one of those spoons that have a mesh on it so the water can seep out. And our toppings are right here ready to go because you want to dip them while they're wet into the toppings so that the toppings will stick. Okay, so here we go with our first ones. I think I'm gonna do 2 at a time. Okay, and I'm starting our timer. I have a chopstick here too in case it might be easier to flip it over with a chopstick. Okay, we're flipping. I think I'm going to do the everything bagel seasoning first. Okay, and I'm just gonna get that out, and you want the excess water to come off, and then dip it right down into the bagel seasoning. Okay, and then we're gonna get that right onto our baking sheet. There we go. And we're going to get our next two in. A little more seasoning on this plate. Okay, time to flip. Okay. You know, this chopstick is working out pretty good. I like it. Okay, there's another everything bagel. These are hot, so be careful. Okay, we're done with our everything seasoning. I'm just gonna wash all these seeds off. All right, now we're going to get our cheddar jalapeno bagels in. Get our timer going. These ones I might press on instead of dipping them. I think it might be easier for the cheddar and jalapeno. Okay, we're flipping. All right, get the excess water off. I might need to do that. Out. All right, now I'm going to press on the cheddar and jalapeno quickly. I think when the cheese melts, that will probably help these jalapenos to stick on there also. I've made everything but the bagel seasoning, but I haven't used jalapeno cheddar yet on bagels, so we'll see how they do. All right, they go in, and then we're gonna get our timer on. We're done with this pan. We're gonna get these into the oven, and as soon as we get them in, we're gonna drop the temperature from 450 to 400 degrees. So I'm gonna clear that and get it on 400 degrees. Get that going. We're gonna bake these 18 to 22 minutes, so I'm gonna set it for 18 minutes and keep an eye on them. I'll see you when they're all baked up. Our timer just went off. They've been baking for 20 minutes. It's very steamy. All right. And here is our delicious bagels. They turned out fantastic. Now we're going to get them onto our cooling rack. They smell wonderful. These jalapeno cheddar ones turned out really well also. Looks like the topping's stuck on there really good. So we're gonna let these cool down and then we'll bring it back for a crumb shot and try them. And there's the inside of our bagel. And it looks so good. And now we've got our cream cheese out and we've got some salami to make a delicious bagel sandwich. Fresh bagel sandwich. Okay, here's our bottom of our bagel. I picked this up from Costco. It has black pepper coated dry salami, Italian dry salami, dry coppa, and prosciutto. So we're gonna get some of this salami on here. And now we'll cut this in half. All right, we've got our delicious bagel sandwich that we're ready to try. Ooh, this is the most delicious bagel sandwich ever. Fresh bagels, you can't beat them. It's so good. You guys got to give this recipe a try. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Have a blessed day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.